this in game 1. Origen have lost both of their series to Unicorns of Love, who are 3 points ahead. And that means that in those tiebreaker scenarios, if they're on the same points, Origen are at a major disadvantage. I also about pick some bans. There's the first support champion. Yep. Next one would be Braum if they don't want to rock the boat.
As we talked about, when you're on blue side, you can very easily target ban, and that's what they're doing against Hybrid, as always. It is also showing that you are not afraid really of any other player. And that's why you can every single game, because like right now, we're talking like 12 plus bans of Bard and Braum against Origen. Each champion.
Yep, it is 16 now, 17 Bard bans and 14 Braum bans across 24 games.
It's absolutely crazy that over all these weeks, these are still the bans in almost every game when you play Origen.
That tells you more about Origen as a team than anything else.
It does.
And the next, by the way, is Vladimir at 10, then Azir at 6. Like, the drop-off from 16-15 to 10 and 6. So, same bans for Vitality. Azir first pickable, yes or no?
No, because he got banned. Origen realizing it was an option, and therefore they take it away. Karma is available here as a potential first pick. Elise is another one. I really like to see junglers get Elise, especially junglers like Shook and Yankos, who like to take over the early game. I love that, but you do have to surrender then the severe Karma, which is the problem. That combo in itself is very used in Europe, so when you take away that Karma, you tend to break up that combo at the same time. And then you just trade like Elise for Rek'Sai or Elise for Gragas.
I really like the Sivir when you look at Xpeke as a player. If he gives value to everybody else, that is a better position. So denying that Sivir from Peke, I think that's clever.
Makes sense. Again, is to break the Sivir Karma rotation. Yeah. That would happen on the side of Origen. They're obviously going to take the Karma now if we follow the traditional trends. You don't have to early pick Vladimir, especially not between these two teams, because again, you can have it as a last pick if you want, or not pick it at all, like the last game. So here I'm looking at Karma, and you then take your most preferred jungler. Is it Elise? Is it Rek'Sai? Is it Gragas? Most cases it would be Elise or Rek'Sai. Seems like amazing. We're looking at the Rek'Sai, and he doesn't get lucky for it, so they are actually trading them.
I guess the fact that either are available means that you can pick between them.
I feel like Origen might trap themselves a little bit here. Vitality can play Cassiopeia now in this game. Have that as a good matchup into Victor. Plus you have the Sivir next to it and you can speed up the Cassio. Ryze could also work as a machine gun type mage. Like a lot of mages in the current meta actually really benefits from the Sivir movement speed. Vladimir even as well. Like Vladimir with Ghost and Sivir ulti. Ryze, who needs to constantly reposition and then machine gun away. Same for Cassiopeia. Like all these three mages heavily benefit from a Sivir ulti in fights. I like the Cassiopeia from Nukdog though. I think it was absolutely fantastic yesterday. I would love to see it again.
Few seconds left to decide if he wants to go that route. Might decide to pivot away.
Yeah, don't even technically have to pick it right now. You can just lock in your support.
It's also a little bit more safety, I guess, in this Vladimir with the Sanguine pool.
Yeah.
Gonna pivot away at the last second. Okay. So we get so excited about the potentials, but it will be the Ryze. It will have that same strengths and weaknesses.
Don't worry. I covered us, Trevor. I mentioned 3 mid laners. Ryze was one of them.
Is that the trick?
That is the trick to color casting. Just mention as many options as possible.
I never learned the tricks.
Just hope that one of them will be the one. So I'm like, you know, Ryze benefits from Sivir.
Okay, but hang on. Now we're lingering. Look forward. What does Origen do? Is this where they lock in their Rek'Sai? Again, have the same matchup?
Yeah, you can definitely go Rek'Sai in this against Ryze. You can actually camp him early. Elise also against Ryze. Works well for them. 80 carry choices. You're building a team fighting composition right now as Origen. I like Ashe on Pekka more than I like something like an Israel, because I like when he can add utility to the team. But he's going for the carry style instead, which is something that has not been very impactful when we watch Origen play. We talked about Elise, Rek'Sai, both of them kind of the same deal. Often just depends, do you want magic damage or physical damage in this kind of situation? Telling me we get a physical damage top laner, and that's why you kind of mix it out.
Trundle,
with the Elise. Yeah, Trundle could be one.
Or Aurelia.
Jax could be one. Aurelia could be one. Like, there's a lot of options here for Source as a last pick, which obviously are physical damage top laners. But again, Rek'Sai would also have worked if you want just a strong front line as Origen.
Also, for anybody watching, the picture is now Yorick under bans. It is, in fact, Azir. Please just disregard that on the bottom right.
Oh, yeah, the first Yorick ban. That's like 0.9%.
There we go. There we go. Sorry to call that out. My bad.
All right. So Vitality are building a 1-3-1 composition with this Ryze here. So you need a split pusher for Carpashai, which is his preferred style anyway. And then when you play 1-3-1, very often we see these pick-based supports. So Thresh could be one of them, Bot would be another one, but he's obviously banned in this game. Supports where you can roam around the lanes, and then it can be very, very impactful, either Lantern or hooks. Seems like Vitality are picking straight for laning phase here with this Nami pickup instead, and not going for the great pick potential of a Thresh.
Yeah, not this time round. Saw the quick hover on Leona, actually doing very well in solo queue. By the way, had a big bump on 6-13 just in terms of overall performance. So I like the call out from Kasing. Right, Origen, what is always going to lock in? We see the Aurelia. Makes me think Trundle.
I'd like Trundle here. I think Trundle would make perfect sense. You can take the Jax, take the pure skill matchup, and then it's going to be a 2v2 on top side where you have Elise on your side, which is a much stronger early jungler than Gragas. So that could actually be a way to snowball that lane on the side of Origen and use that to kind of take over the game. Trundle can do the same though, slightly safer as well. So I think that is a good choice, and this again explains when you lock in that Elise, you're giving yourself the option to go for physical damage top lane as well.
I mean, I also distinctly remember Origen running Jax, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Where they would just teleport him into team fights over and over.
Yeah, Fed Jax, built Trinity Force, great. We were like, awesome. And then he built full tank and TP'd into fights. Hey, so and it was all planned.
It was planned. Now I think the plan is better because Trundle does that role, I think, a little bit better.
Definitely agree.
On the front line, Power of Evil. Teleport is up again. We counted 3 TPs in the previous game.
Let's see again.
Nuke Duck with Rise. I think we like it on Rise a little more.
We want it on Rise, for sure. Because, again, you play 1-3-1.
Okay.
Rise is a split-pushing champion. Now, yes, he can be really good in fights, but it's very situational. It can be very difficult because he has to stand close for such a long time and just kind of hammer away multiple spells.
And he has to run at you. It's like
he has
really
to run
easy.
at you. Yeah. So it's much easier to 1v1 people in side lanes with Rise. Aurelia has the same deal. So it's a pure 1-3-1 comp with Wave Clear AD carry in the mid, 2 very strong split pushes. This is a good Vitality composition, and it's the kind of comps if you play good in the early game, you can really set up the split push.
You can set up the split push. Yesterday, Vitality showed that once it's set up,
they didn't have the they didn't have Rise then. That Cassiopeia.
Yeah, and they left Cassiopeia in the side lane alone.
Yeah, that was
around to the Jax. So I want to see some growth here from Vitality in setting up their split push. Their opponent's Origen, they've got a little bit more of a 1-4 composition, if I may. But Power of Evil running that teleport on Victor, maybe he wants to go toe-to-toe. Maybe he wants to try to play Wave Clear for Wave Clear.
Well, if he goes to the side lane against Rise, he dies. Like, that's what Victor can't go side lane because he doesn't 1v1 champions like Rise, champions like Castellan, champions like Aurelia. He doesn't 1v1 them. So you don't put him side lane. He's going to be there, try holding the lane. That's it.
All right, hold the lane or not. Vitality looking for the 2-0, the sweep, the 3 points. They're looking to sting Origen to end off the week. Origen going to try to set themselves up. So you mentioned the Nami for the laning phase here for Vitality. If I recall correctly, it was Origen that opted into the lane swap and then opted out.
Yeah, in this game,
the previous game,
it's kind of the same situation where you can definitely take standard lanes on both sides. But if you are Vitality, you need to respect Amazing on Elise. The early game impact he can have in standard lanes, especially around the top lane, can swing the game in favor of Origen. If he paths up to top lane, level 3 with red buff, first gank, comes up there level 4, second gank. We've seen it before. When Origen have done well in the early game, it's always been around Soas.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the Gragas is not going to have the same value because his early game is not as strong as the Elise. And that's where Origen can gain an advantage. It will be standard lanes. Vitality setting up that level 1 cheese we also saw yesterday.
Origen pinged it though. Feels like they watched the game. Let's see if they can avoid it. Make sure they scout correctly. Throw out that mystic shot, I expect.
Yeah, just miss a shot into the bush. But that's also... Vitality's not going to wait around for that to happen.
The skill shots! There we go. Oh, by the way, that was a first pick Sivir. Shout out to Karen Moser and all of the LPL. It's back multiple times today already. First pick Sivir.
The utility AD carries are doing very well. And then there's Jhin as well being used a lot in Europe.
That was a weird aside. The utility engine.
Yeah, but like, because like I don't really consider Jhin that much of a utility AD carry, but he's used in almost every game we have. Except for this one as well. And again, no Vladimir. They are Vladimir haters in this game.
Yeah, they are. Oh, cool. Well, actually it is, because Vladimir is very...
Did you know Vladimir is not a vampire?
Yes, I did. He's a blood mage.
So I was the only one who thought he was a vampire?
Yes. I mean, do you ever see him bite anyone? Like, if you actually think about it, it just proves you're not very smart.
Yeah, I've actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I've never seen him bite anyone.
Exactly. Do gear.
Maybe that's a new ability in the next rework.
Depending on like your vampire knowledge, do you see him transforming into a bat or other shapes?
No, but he probably could, just not on the Rift.
I mean, he can transform into a pool of blood, so who knows what powers he has when he's not.
Yeah, to be fair, I've never seen a vampire do that either.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
No.
See? Exactly.
You're right.
You're becoming unraveled.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. I have not kept up to date with all the League of Legends lore, but I will keep up to date with this gank because Amazing is coming mid lane.
Good. Let's find out. Amazing can find it. Flash for flash.
Classic trade. Classic trade. You know you're never going to hit Nuke Duck, but you just want his flash so you can set up the next gank. And a classic start here where enemy mid laner gets the early push. Fine. You let him push it all the way up past the river. And then when he overextends, you move in with your jungler for a very easy gank. And now Amazing should just path and secure topside vision, which is what he's doing now. So I like this from him. Might set up a very early dive. As long as he at least tanks first and can rappel up in the air, you can execute these very cleanly.
Wave is dying quite quickly though. 3 ranged minions left, another one Conga lining its way in.
Take the Gromp, I guess, for now.
Cabo can smell something's up. He walks over to the Tribush, but doesn't place the Trinket Ward just yet.
And now the wave is pushing away from tower, so dive is not gonna happen. Instead, they get a Gromp. They were setting up for it, at least. And I like this early pathing from Amazing. Great gank in the mid lane, potentially threatening the top lane, as we talked about. Snowball, SOAS, and Vitality's composition with 1-3-1 becomes very difficult to execute.
Right. If SOAS can get ahead. If you can contain Cabo shot.
The snowball? Snowball?
The Snowers ball. All right, we'll go with that. Get your pen to Fisher. Add a Nuke Duck column to your teleport counter because he TP'd middle. All right?
Yeah, but he's playing Ryze, so we expect him to TP.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to measure and track. Like, you know, you got to do this fair.
All right.
Because that TP is now down, the flash is down as well. And Amazing.
Round 2 of the gank, but this time around you can see, if we actually look at the mid lane, the wave is not pushing right now away from Nuke Duck, he's in the middle. If you wait like 20 seconds, this wave is going to be much further off the lane.
Flash forward, gravity field out. Shook looks for the body slam onto Power of Evil. It's Jungler on mid-action. The shield from Nuke Duck keeps him alive a few seconds longer. Support from Kasing. The ebb and flow heal will keep him alive, but Shook tower dives to secure first blood. Kasing gets a bubble on Amazing before he's rooted by Hybrid, but it's Vitality that strike first.
Origen went all in without any vision on the bottom side of the map, so they didn't expect Shook to be there. Power of Evil suddenly realizing he has no flash anymore, and a red buff Graga sitting on Cabo Shot diving.
Cabo Shot easily picks up the kill.
We talked about, you know, snowballing SOAS with the Elise ganks. I guess Cabo Shot has another plan. Solo killing the Trundle. We don't see this very often. He's ahead in CS now. He denied that farm from SOAS. He forces TP back to lane. Big play. So here, this is such a greedy play from Origen because they have no vision on this bottom side. They know the 2 supports are roaming. They don't know where Shook is on the map. Red buff Gragas takes down Power of Evil. Nuke Duck stays alive. Vitality, again, winning the early game. Because Shook is good at ganking in the start, and because Cabo Shot is still a beast in his lane, they're winning the early game. Even harder than last game.
2 kills, 1,000 gold up. Looking set to get themselves into that 1-3-1 position. Teleport counter, Power of Evil, has come back to the mid lane. We're tracking it. Is your pen broken? Did you use it fine?
No, I just hit it into my hand instead of the paper.
Yeah, that's not how you write.
Well, you can technically.
Yeah, we're keeping track of this one. Top laners, I'm less excited about their TPs.
Yeah, we don't care about that, but we do care about Cabo Shot again solo killing SOAS in that lane. No flash was used by SOAS. Not even to like avoid the Q damage coming from Cabo Shot before on the tower. Definitely interesting when you die 1v1 and you don't even use your defensive summoner. Something has gone horribly wrong.
Look at the mini-map because Kasing is waiting around. Amazing's actually coming to join the fray. So this is going to be an interesting 2-on-2. SOAS has already taken a lot of damage and burned through the subjugate. Ebb and Flow tags SOAS, and he's trying to pull some support. Cabo, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall prey. Cocoon catches Cabo Shot. They sink the fangs in, and Cabo goes down, disrespecting the bush.
Finally got the gank though on the top lane. And it worked. A kill on the Cabo Shot. I mean, once you get that great solo kill, you kind of feel like you own the world. Shook and Nukedog finding amazing.
Amazing. Wow, great reaction time. Repels up into the air. Rooted in place by the Rune Prison. Barrel backwards. The Bramblebacks helping too.
Wait, amazing
Shook
flash.
gets the kill. An amazing flash for the red. I don't know.
That makes zero sense. He just wasted his flash completely. Or unless he was trying to bait Vitality, you know, maybe they think he flashed over the wall and they would like follow him to the golems there, but no, he just flashed straight in and kills the red buff. He's like, you're right there. You're literally right there. You just flashed over me, nothing else.
Well,
they're sending up a dive, but there's no one here to dive yet. Source has no TP, so he's not using it back to lane. And realized they had to wait a little bit too long. So let's see the invade again. Amazing doesn't expect it, he doesn't have vision of it, so they go in, this good reaction at first, but now there's nothing you can do to get out other than flash this wall. What?
I don't know.
Because this only works if you flash into another bush anyway and they don't see you.
Either way, Summoner Spell blown. Third kill secured by Vitality. Plus 1,500 gold. And every time I look at those player cams, very serious faces from the Origen members. Soaz has got support coming from Origen, and Cabo may be the target.
But they need to keep doing this. Just keep camping Capo Shot over and over. They should get another kill.
Soaz has flashed forward for this hybrid and amazing. They're very, very slow to the tower. Cocoon connects to curves at the last second. And amazing kills Cabo.
All right, I'm glad again we predicted a game plan for Origen. Camp the top lane. Get Trundle ahead every single time, but now bottom lane, they can make a play.
Spec is in trouble. He flashes away from the bubble. True Shot Barrage tags Kasing on the way out. Teleport completes here from Nukeduck.
See, this is why the timing is a little bit off still for pro teams because it's a new patch. There's a very, very slow TP coming in for Nukeduck. Pekka had loads of time to run away, disengage, and therefore get another summoner spell out of the way, but that's a lot of action in the early game. Most of it built around the top lane. And I like to see these teams here understanding, you know, we need to shut down this Irelia here, especially after she got the early kill. I'm still so surprised Swords died to that 1v1 with Flash.
Yeah.
When I rewatched it, he flashed nothing. Like, Capo Shot literally dashed onto him, dealt the damage, and then just killed him. So definitely some issues for Origen, but getting some return kills and then Pekka surviving in the bottom lane is huge.
Yeah, rookie mistake there to lose 1v1.
Because now Power Weaver has his teleport, and if you want to use it properly, even on a Victor, now you're actually able to force a play in a side lane, especially in the bottom lane, because you have double TP to no teleport.
You have to track on your paper that Nukeduck's side lane attempt failed. Down in the bottom, Shook is trying to set up teleport.
But here they can TP in now. They can TP
Origen need to pull the trigger. They need to go now. They're not doing it yet. Pekka's in trouble. There's at least double teleports being channeled. Hybrid gets knocked back. Vitality, the support is coming from Origen, but it is too late to save Pekka. Kasing gets run down. Hybrid plus the tower pick up one. Police gets taken for the double. A 2-for-1, but it costs 2 TPs.
Yeah, again, we get these teleports we mentioned. Very greedy player from Vitality, thinking they can actually force something against double globals when they had nothing themselves. Lose 2 kills. They do kill Pekka. It's not over yet, though. Shook is on the tower.
Shook is the target. He's forced to flash away. I think the body slam caught Soaz. A chomp, a pillar of ice. The cocoon lock Shook down. Amazing. 2-1 and 2.
So Origen getting a lot of things in the bottom lane. Kills, towers, everything they want. Have to lose the top tower, though. Capo Shot gets to take that one down. No minions left. Just the poor Spiderlings being sacrificed for the greater cause.
Waiting for the next conga line. Peel back for Dragon or not worth the time investment. We'll find out that answer in a second. Pick in Soaz. Pillar of Ice will slow down Nukeduck. Soaz doesn't have a lot of tankiness, so this could get hairy. But Nukeduck's able to just ult away. Get to safety.
I think Soaz got 1 kill, 1 assist. No, sorry, 2 assists on the bottom lane, and that was it. So this play from Vitality is so greedy. That's why we don't want to see it again. Instead, we want to show Power of Evil hiding in a bush.
Power of Evil never left. The spell shield's already been used by Police. On the hunt allows him to escape. And Power of Evil's going to be able to back away. That play didn't work out.
Oh, but the teleport from Power of Evil did work out from before when he was able to TP down the bottom lane. Couldn't save his AD carry and owner, but did manage to pick some kills in return. So I'm sure Pekka is okay with that.
Yeah, 0-1-0. Pekka's still down 10 CS. But I think you kind of expect that against a Sivir in the early game, maybe.
I mean, he obviously was left alone because Hybrid was actually roaming quite a lot. Naturally, you fall slightly behind. This time around, no one's staying on the turret, which is a mistake we've seen quite a lot today. They're actually leaving it. Vitality had Shook around. I gotta praise Shook again. I feel like, yeah, okay, that last gang was greedy, but I like what he's doing on his Gragas. Like, he's extremely mobile for a very large man, and he's able to constantly make plays. I think Shook,
better or worse.
yeah, for sure. But like Shook compared to Mighty Bear has been a massive difference. So again, this is too greedy from Vitality against double global. It's a very late teleport coming from Source after. But at this point here, if you're Vitality, there's kind of no way out. And they end up losing 3 kills. Or 3 members. And they lost the tower as well. And only traded for top lane tower. So massive loss. And you didn't even have to make that play. You were actually doing perfectly fine before.
As we come out of the replay, immediately back into the action. This is what we like to see. Police is in trouble, forced to run away, but it's Power of Evil that dies first. Vitality teleports in with Cabo, easily take down PoE, and that's just a tiny bit awkward.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Power of Evil got caught in the rotation. Surely he just pushed out the bottom lane and was trying to roam in through the jungle. He has no vision. Another fight, Trevor, potentially. No, just fighting the minions.
Yeah, not in range to Rune Prison. Vitality, they secure their 5th kill of the game. They hold on to their 2k gold lead. The observers were highlighting the Ocean Drake was secured by Vitality, and that the next one is another Ocean Drake. So
getting a lot of those today.
Yeah, it's for all the tears that are being cried.
Well, I mean, we've had some games where a lot of it, man, really, I just realized.
Tell me.
We stepped into mid-game.
Yeah.
Vitality set up a gank bot lane against double TP. Origen response getting 3 kills on the tower. Again. Every single time when we get to mid-game, Vitality makes a bad call and Origen punishes them.
Origen punishes them. You talked about the Soaz story that we've hit a lot, you know. Gank for Soaz, get Trundle ahead. The Rift Herald buff, Glimpse of the Void, that's going to help him as well. That was also picked up in the replay. They traded those objectives.
But because Origen were using Trundle to go down to the bottom lane, they didn't get to really snowball that top lane, despite getting 2 kills on Copper Shot. So right now, Source is actually slightly behind. But as you said, Rift Herald will really help him a lot. Once he gets an armor item as well, he should be fine against Copper Shot. One of the things about Irelia on 613 with the nerf ulti, the much longer cooldown, especially on rank 1, it means a lot in these matchups where it used to be based around you having a much shorter cooldown on your ulti. Like Trundle, ulti rank 1 is 110-second cooldown. Same for Irelia. Now, it used to be much shorter for Irelia, so you could actually all in twice in the span of one Trundle ulti. Well, not in the span of it, but the cooldown of the Trundle ulti, you could all in twice. You can't do that anymore.
Well, Cabo's got some CDR from that Triforce build. It's down to 88 seconds in this match right now. And he's already 1v1 Soaz, but it was a little while ago. And without the Rift Herald up, Soaz is going way deep. You can see a lot of members of Vitality on the map.
It's fine.
So Soaz is just going to push, knowing where his opponents are. So this time around, intelligent split pushing.
But now you have an issue if you're Origen, because you want to keep Victor mid lane as you wave clear, but he has teleport. So technically, he's the guy who's supposed to go to the side lane and wave clear. But because Victor is much better mid and he needs it for mid lane priority against a Sivir who can just instant push, Ezreal and Karma are the 2 going to the side lane every time, but that's not a very strong group of 2 members pushing. Yeah. That means you actually have a very weak side lane on Origen side, and you have a Victor stuck in mid lane, and it's only really Trundle having pressure. And that makes it very difficult for the Trundle lane to actually play the split pushing game. If Nukdog can always push in his lane, if the Sivir can always push her lane, you have 2 lanes where Vitality can always pick a jungle adjacent to those 2 lanes, set up in that jungle, and that's how you get pressure on 2 towers at once.
You make it sound so easy, but we're in the mid game.
That's true.
And that means it's not for Vitality.
Well, they're doing okay right now because they're actually able to push in the 2 lanes. Look at Pekka sitting on top side, trying to push out. If he goes Trinity Force in a game like this, it's a massive mistake. This is an Iceborne Gauntlet game because you're against multiple targets who wants to one-shot you. Like Irelia, like Ryze. You need that to be able to kite back, and also Iceborne Gauntlet when it comes to actually keeping waves at distance from your towers, because of the AoE it deals, is much better when you're trying to keep these waves pushed out.
Well, it few minutes before
I
we
wanna
get that
see
question
that.
answered. Double long swords for now. Peke still sitting on 1,700 gold. We'll get a very good glimpse in a moment or two. Looking at some of the rest of the items. Cole still waiting to pop for Police. Rod of Ages stacking for Nuke Duck, and the Titanic Hydra for Soaz. You're seeing that sort of pivot for a couple patches now on that top lane Trundle.
And Nuke Duck and Capuchot here can be really annoying against Soaz. You mentioned, you know, the Titanic Hydra, he goes early MR boots, that's perfectly fine. But now the problem for him is, if he goes MR, Vitality's gonna try and put Capuchot in his lane. If he goes for armor now, well, they're gonna try and put Nuke Duck in his lane. Because it's only Soaz against the two split pushers. Again, Victor's not gonna do anything in the side lane, Ezreal's not gonna do a whole lot in the side lane. So Vitality actually has the luxury now to choose, and therefore always get the winning matchup, depending on what Soaz is building as his next item. If you look at it, Soaz in a team fight, well, there's a good mix of physical and magic damage on the side of Vitality.
And a lot of AoE as well to deal with. Ryze and Civ are going to have that mixed damage bouncing everywhere. Amazing and Power will both finish those Abyssal Scepters, so that'll at least help a little. Make sure that somebody's always going to be taking more damage from the Victor AoE.
But it requires you to get the team fights, and that's so hard against 1-3-1 comps where you have no map control. This is why, again, I don't like this composition that much with the Victor Israel kind of situation, because it's so slow and so passive, and you're always reactive. It's really good if you get to late game. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. If you get to multiple items, it's great. But right now, there's very little Origen can do other than rely on Soaz. So he's the hero. We've seen Soaz play this style before.
Yeah, but look at this. The hero for Origen is in the top lane, and the support is coming. Both amazing and hybrid, so this should allow the second tower to fall. Cabo is paying a lot of respect in the top lane, and Vitality content or happy to trade for the dragon.
No, I like that trade if you're Origen. Get a tower because you need to catch up with gold over a second Ocean Drake. The problem is now defending mid lane. How do you defend mid lane with an Ezreal who has no ice bond? You can't. So Ezreal can't sit mid, because then he always gets pushed into tower. That means you lose mid tower.
And all of a sudden, Vitality come out in a better position. They get themselves a tower for tower, and they get themselves a dragon.
Yeah, in the end, Vitality wins out. Power was trying to push out the bottom lane. He's setting up a slow push again. No globals were used for Vitality, so they can easily send one guy down and catch that wave.
I love it. The next big fight, 4 teleports. It's going to come in. Oh, is this...
Slow teleports.
Oh, is this actually happening?
Rushing Baron.
Is this actually happening?
There is no vision right now, but I think that ward near the mid lane saw Origen move from mid down to the river, and therefore Vitality are moving towards it, stopping Origen already. I like the call, though. When you have full vision with triple pink in the river, why not? Like, try and see if you can just sneak that Baron.
Yeah, I guess the waves were pushing away from Origen.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Set the map up. Unfortunately, thwarted.
Yeah.
By one pesky little ward.
That little ward where you didn't expect it to be placed.
It's actually pretty shallow vision. Most of this game, we've taken a look at it. It's just been on the river or like one jungle camp or into the enemy jungle. You can see Origen have warded up the blue buff side. Vitality now have just pushed in and placed 3 wards, which is very good for them. I think spawning from that Baron play, Baron call.
Yeah, you actually don't really want to play top lane if you're Vitality, because there's no tier 2 tower. Your goal is technically to get mid and bot tower right now and then secure a Mountain Drake. A little bit too early to rush a Baron in this game here, but I can also catch Amazing.
Well, they can. Nothing else follows. Police either didn't get the memo or didn't care. Takes damage. His shop closes now. Not going to be distracted.
It's a good point, Trevor.
You made it. That's I'm just...
Which is why I'm so surprised that we actually saw someone die to it yesterday. I can't believe we actually saw that. Still, it doesn't matter for this game. You see the setup now, where Victor is in the side lane.
Against Ryze.
And he can only hold. He can never kill Ryze. He can only hold the lane.
But he can die if Cabo jumps at him.
Yeah, you can dive him easy. You can TP and dive him. Very, very easy, because you can push him to tower every time.
Rune Prison, Equilibrium Strike, Power People's dead.
Victor's side lane is useless. And Vitality punish it instantly. But Origen are still able to trade for something here. They're pushing in this lane, and now it's a bit of a base race.
All right, trading tower for tower. Tidal Wave will slow down Origen. Cabo is interrupting the minion wave while Nuke Duck is ushering it to the tower.
Origen doesn't stay and actually take it with 4 members. I think they were afraid of then Police pushing up mid, and Vitality moving in and taking a mid tower as well. Actually gave up for that tower. So further behind now, both in gold, dragons, and kills.
So Cabershot and Nukeduck don't even need their teleports for a side lane play.
No.
They just walk at Power of Evil. They kill him, they take their 5th tower, extend the gold lead, nearly 4,000. Vitality are making good mid-game plays into Origen's base. The thing is, there's only one inner turret left. So now it becomes harder to press further and press that advantage.
And this is where, again, when you set up 1-3-1, I have like a 6-step checklist I follow.
It's gonna be a while.
So like, step 1 is identify your next objective. So in a game like this, you know, Mountain Drake looks like your next objective, unless you feel that you can actually start playing around Baron. Okay, so that's, you identify that one. 2, you then assign your lanes accordingly. So if you have TP on one guy, you put him on the opposite lane of where you are trying to set up the objective, because you want him so he can TP down for that objective. So in this case, if it's Baron they're setting up for, you have double TP now, so you can actually put both guys in the side lane. Step 3 is you push your lanes. That's what they've been doing now. Nukeduck push bot lane. They're pushing top, slow push with minions. They just push mid. Step 4, you secure vision in the enemy jungle. That's where they're in now. They just moved in, set up some vision. It's not 100% secure, but that is step 4, and they were in there. Step 5, you return to your lanes and push them out again. Where's police on the map right now? Well, he's just pushing out mid lane. They're pushing out the side lanes. Step 6, you now execute on your objective. So there you go. You got the full steps. You got the vision, you got the push. Origen is also reading my checklist though, so they're actually defending against this invade, and therefore Vitality are not starting anything because they actually didn't get full control of enemy jungle.
Maybe it's just a Danish thing, but usually lists are easy. Amazing is going to be taken down here. Repels up, comes down, and Vitality, if they were setting up for Dragon, they were not. The real objective was Baron. Teleport being used.
No,
Power
I said
of Evil.
We're possible. Like, Dragon wasn't even alive.
Shook is going to peel away. So the teleport, 3rd one, if memory serves here for Power of Evil,
and
it stops Baron.
We're going to go to the Dragon objective soon, because it's spawning. First, they got to defend the mid tower. Vitality actually did a lot of the steps we just talked about. Didn't get full vision, but got enough to catch out Amazing. And as you said, forced that TP from Power of Evil. Mountain Drake will greatly help this Vitality team, though.
Yes, it will. Speed up those Baron plays as part of the 6-step plan to your next objective. Remember, identify your objective, assign lanes accordingly, push lanes, secure vision, return to lanes to push them once more, and finally execute on your objective.
And then question mark, question mark, question mark, profit.
Yeah, you knew how that was going to end. There's not enough space on a graphic for all of those things, so we may need a series.
Wait, we don't have an 8-step graphic?
No. Most people are done talking by step 3.
Maybe I should make some video content about it instead.
Well, we'll find out. Bubble, Soaz walks onto it. Amazing is able to repel away from this attempt. Not enough support here from Vitality. And Amazing is playing with his life as he continues to step forward. Remember, the Mountain objective, Mountain Dragon was the objective. And the vision is being set up. The lanes are being pushed. We're skipping a few steps here, but it's working out for Vitality.
Again, they assigned the lanes, they identified the objective, they're pushed out, they've gotten vision in enemy jungle, clearing out the vision as well. So that is, again, our step 3 here, or step 4, sorry. And now you don't even have to push out the second time because Origen already gave up and you can just get the objective. So the checklist works. Every time you see it, push out, set up vision, back.
Yeah.
In this case, you get it for free.
We'll track it. The objective for now is Soaz just being run down. I think the tidal wave even caught him there. Cabo, with the help of Nukeduck, picks up their 8th kill.
Yeah, and Origen can't really start the Baron because double TP is still available for Vitality. Again, Origen is being run around the map by this split pushing comp, and Vitality, apart from one misplay in the bottom lane earlier, are executing cleanly.
On the hunt, thrown down, Police looking for a target. Repel used by Amazing. He lands on Kasing, is able to flash away to the mid lane, but runs into Nukeduck's waiting hands. A rune prison holds him down, and Police locks the door shut, killing Amazing for the 3rd time this game.
So now you have almost every tower outside of the base down, except for this one tower in the mid lane, which will take a ton of damage now. You got every single dragon. You even got dragons that are very good for taking Barons, Mountain Drake and Ocean Drakes, because Baron does not put you in combat, meaning you will keep getting HP and mana back when you are fighting that Baron, as long as OG doesn't poke you. So you have the perfect setup right now to actually take down that Baron, which you need in a split pushing comp to close out the game.
Yeah, and look at Cabershot's build. Trinity Force, Ghost Blade, He's gone all in on that split pushing sort of 1v1 power.
And you should. Double damage item on Irelia is always the way to go. Unless you're like 0-5 and you have to be forced into fights, but then your pick is useless anyway. So this is definitely the right choice, and great game, honestly, from Vitality, and great to see they're a step above Origen, I feel. Judging from the 2 games here. Yeah, okay, obviously the first game was very messy, but in the end they made less mistakes and won that game, and this game has been much, much better.
All right, Bubble this time not going to catch Amazing. Teleport being used. I think it's Nukeduck that's joining from the flank. Going to run in, avoid the death ray. Hybrid will not avoid death. He's knocked back by Shook. Another great. This time Rune Prison onto Amazing. Repel up, buy some time. Peke keeps throwing the Mystic shots. Teleport's being channeled as here comes Soaz. But this is a fight you do not want. Subjugate's already being used. Cabo's been able to assassinate Amazing on the back line. And Power of Evil's gravity field thwarts more damage. 2 members of Origen down. Nukeduck almost able to kill Power of Evil. Soaz caught by the bubble. Nothing more. And Peke's running out of mana, so he can't chase any further, even with that Iceborne. 2-0 in favor of Vitality.
And now we're going straight to Baron, Trevor. It's being started. Nukeduck is setting a trap here with the pink ward, just trying to zone off OG. Amazing is not alive to steal this one.
No, he is not. Peke doesn't even have True Shot Barrage. This should be very easily picked up. A gigantic shield from Nukeduck allows him to kill Soaz. Police is going to look to run down Peke. Flash forward, Rune Prison connects, overload after overload. The big shield comes up from Hybrid. That keeps Peke alive. Not for long though, as 2 more kills for Vitality with the Baron. They're looking set to close this game out. Plus 10,000 gold at 30 minutes.
Turning into a stomp this one here because Vitality executed that 1-3-1, and the composition from Origen, as we talked about so much in this game, just doesn't have the answers. Against 1-3-1 split pushing, you have no control because you're moving your Victor to a side lane, so you lose every lane now, instead of only losing 2 of them. And right now, Vitality opens up the base. Baron buff, multiple dragons. Perfect position for them. They're looking for that 2-0, which is so important when it comes to getting out of the motion.
And what it will also mean is having that advantage when it comes to head-to-head. So we'll talk about it in a second. This was the ending... No, this is the whole beginning of the fight.
Start of the fight. It's Shook again on Gragas, starting the fight really well. And then it becomes a little bit back and forth. Origen trying to get a few members low, but they're always losing more than they gain every single time. Vitality showing up, and in the end, it's close, but then it's a perfect Baron setup. Nukeduck plays the pink ward, hides in it. You don't even take damage from the Baron because you got double Ocean Drake. And then it just chased a few more kills.
Yeah, it ends like it begins.
You gotta get some dessert as well, man. You gotta get the dessert.
Oh, Vitality making this one honestly look quite easy.
Yeah.
Really good from start to finish. They're 1-3-1. No real counters from Origen. I mean, it was a first rotation Karma Victor, and Power of Evil's not had the wave clear. His teleport has not had an impact, and he's just been jumped on every time. Much like the rest of the team, to be fair. It's not only on PoE.
No, and like it's not on him as a player, it's on the champion. Like, Victor doesn't have lane priority against Ryze once we get to these side lanes. That means you're always going to get pushed back, and then the enemy team can just dive you. There's nothing you can do as a Victor. So it's not on Power of Evil, it's on the pick.
Vitality don't even need to dive right now. They can just continue playing the split push. Nukeduck shoved in. Supers from the mid lane. Cabo's taken out the bottom inhibitor. Vitality's rest on the team take up the top inhibitor, and now only 2 Nexus towers remain. There's nothing left for Origen to fall back to. Maybe they can pull off a miracle, but it is not likely. Super Minion's already on the Nexus turret. Soaz is the target. Explosive Cast knocks Origen away. And the Ricochet from Police takes down Power of Evil. Baron empowered minions onto Nexus turret number 1. The bubble locks up Soaz, while Cabo and Shook take down the towers. There are so many minions to deal with. Origen, they are just waiting to get destroyed. The body slam flash holds up Origen for more. Only Hybrid survives to watch his Nexus crumble. Vitality 2-0 Origen.
this is the kind of Vitality we like to see. Split pushing compositions, allow Nukedog and Capuchat to carry in the side lanes, but also shout out to Shook again. He's really changed Vitality. Yes, they didn't get many wins last week, but they played much better. This week now, securing that 2-0 over Origen, a lot of it was due to Shook on this Gragas.
Yep.
2 games in a row.
Yep. And, you know, I keep going back to the standings. Because when you look at the team right now, Sean's and Gabba. Gabba short shoes.
He actually told me about those shoes. He has won 2-0 and a few 0-2s when wearing these shoes, but he's never tied when he's worn these shoes. And he got a 2-0 today. They are the no-tie shoes.
No tie shoes. Ironic, because he's tied his shoelaces.
Well, that's the difference.
There is a sense of irony in there. But yeah, handshakes around. And yeah, it was good to see Sean's and Gabba, the coach and manager of the team, having a chat. Because what this means for Vitality, they gained 3 points. They now sit at 12 with the Unicorns of Love.
Play later today.
Who are playing right now
that's true.
against Fnatic. Half of that game has already been decided. I don't want to spoil it yet, but for Vitality, they also now have a win and a draw against Origen. Origen have 2 losses to Unicorns of Love. So that bottom of the table, Origen may not make it into playoffs.
I mean, looking at the team right now, they won't make it into playoffs. That's almost an easy statement. They have to completely turn it around the next few weeks, and that's stuff we can't predict. Like, it's impossible to predict right now that Origen will turn it around for 2 or 3 weeks and make it into playoffs. You can't. That would just be a wild guess, bold prediction. They never count, ever. So,
well, our not so bold predictions of Vitality struggling or not making it. I mean, looking potentially to be upset as well. I mean, look, there's still
they still gotta get out.
6 series to be played.
Yes.
So,
and this was beating Origen, who's obviously down in the bottom with them. So that's very important and what you need. If Vitality are able to then take down Unicorns of Love, or Giants, or Schalke, like one of these teams, that's where they can suddenly swap around in the standings. But this was super important for Vitality. They played much better than Origen, really deserved this victory. And it's great to see them play like this 1-3-1 style.
It's also important to note, next week, Vitality play Roccat, who are struggling.
That's a must-win.
Should be points for them. And then they also play the Unicorns of Love. So
next week can decide everything.
Next week could decide a playoff berth for Vitality. If they can get 2 2-0s and get 6 points against those teams around them, I mean, that basically sets them up. It's something we'll talk about a little bit later today, hopefully on PGL as well. But for more on that series, Pyrotechnics is standing on stage with Vitality Shook.
Thanks very much, Quick Shot. I am standing by with Shook, who had a massive presence in that series. Congratulations on your 2-0. And I want to ask you about that series a little bit more, because Game 1, it looked really messy. It was a lot of mistakes both sides, but you guys pulled it out in the end. Game 2, it looked a lot cleaner. What changed? What clicked with the team for Game 2?
I just think we realized our mistakes mostly, and like we learned from Game 1. That's why I like best of 2s as well. And we just closed it out cleaner, and I think we really needed this win, so it's good.
You certainly did. I mean, 3 points well earned on the board, so you start edging your way forward. I'll ask you a bit more about that as well. But back in the lineup now, you've been here for 2 weeks, once again with Vitality coming in and relieving Mighty Bear. The team's talked about how they had communication issues, not just with him, but overall they seem to be on different pages several weeks back. How, in your perception, has that changed since you've been back with the roster?
I think I'm more focused on like making sure we get our vision down and do rotations well on towers, and I think we still have to improve on our macro game and everything. Like, we still have tons to improve on, but we're learning every day, I think, and we just need some wins now.
Well, it's always a good start when you're able to get a 2-0 out on the board. And looking ahead to the following week, we heard it from the casters a moment ago. Unicorns, Roccat, they're both on the plate next week. If you can take them out, that's a juicy helping of points that really starts to catapult you up towards the standings. Looking ahead towards playoffs, you know, what do you think are your chances of making it in there and going deep?
I think with our lineup, like, we could do really well in playoffs, I think. We just have these problems, like, we greed, like, we siege towers while they just bought items and they're stronger than us, and we keep sieging and they just kill us by that, and we don't keep in mind their teleports, and if we fix that, I think we have a really good shot.
Right, it's good to see you guys working on those things. Thanks again for joining me, Shook, and an excellent 2-0 on the day, so congratulations and best of luck going into the following week. For now, though, we are going to head and back to the casters to break it down even further and give us our player of the game.
Thank you very much, Pyra. We will. And yeah, those 2 points looking forward. We've already touched on the playoff implications. Player of the game was tough.
Very tough. We had, honestly, in this game, I felt like there were 3 options.
Yes.
Nuke Duck, Shook, and Copper Shot.
Okay.
Drum roll. Which one got it? No, you're going to say it. I'm going to drum roll. That's a weird drum.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a really weird
It's
drum.
the snare. Have you never heard it? Regardless, player of the game,
Cabashad.
it's going to be Cabashad. His Irelia in the mid to late game was great. He bounced back from being camped. And he got a solo kill, then he got camped, then he bounced back, and he was a super impactful top laner.
Yeah, I mean, Copper Shot had one of these games where he was, after obviously going down twice, he was then set up to actually do really well in these side lanes, picked up a lot of kills. And Nuke Dog was the same story, obviously, for him. And then Shook is just the guy who's constantly starting these fights and setting up his carries. And that's been a fantastic thing.
Any of them could have been PogChamp.
Yeah, exactly. With these guys now, when they play this 1-3-1 with Shook instead of Mighty Bear, the fact that Shook makes everyone else better, where Mighty Bear was focused on making himself better.
Yeah.
But right now, you need a jungler who sets up your lanes instead, and that's something Coppershot benefits from and Nuke Dog in this game.
Solo queue jungling versus team jungling. We'll
Sure.
carry on this discussion in a minute or two. Stream 2, EU LCS Fnatic versus UL, that's wrapping up. For now, the points have been decided in the first series here in the arena. Before we head to a short break, a reminder that CBLOL finals are taking place tonight between the 4-time champions INTZ and CNB. For more details, head over to lolesports.com.br. After the break, we'll see if Rocket have what it takes. You're allowed to talk soon against the dominant G2 eSports, BRB.
Good thing is